Hello, adventurers. I'm Ms. Maximus, and I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. I'd like to welcome you all to the 21st episode of Campaign 2 of Caches and Cantrips, where some of your favorite streamers play Dungeons and Dragons live on Friday nights. I'm joined by our amazing cast of Mac and Cheese Please, Nina Nikolic, Bunny Dreadful, and Moves Like Jagger from the GGN crew. VS will not be joining us tonight because he doesn't have a character anymore.
He's dead.
Well, I mean, not quite,
Actually,
but
so sad.
You told me he was dead.
I feel so terrible.
he's petrified.
And then it was all my fault.
But his character was just popping off.
Just doesn't move.
He's just not alive. He's not dead. He's just not
He's just
alive.
sleeping, guys.
He's just sleeping.
Told he's alive. Like he's conscious inside the stone.
He's conscious in there?
Physically move. Yeah,
Yes.
he's conscious.
That's
Listen,
literally
He's like in a
even
vegetative
worse.
state.
A deep sleeper. That's all.
Mhm. Yep.
That's worse.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
anyway, thanks for joining tonight. It'll be interesting. If you haven't, you can go catch up on our podcast. Go to anywhere that podcasts are sold. Look up Caches and Cantrips, and you'll see our podcast there. I think we're on all of them. Apple, whatever the rest of them are. Used to be Google, but they stopped theirs. YouTube. What are the
Spotify.
Pocket Casts? One of them. Spotify. Thank you. I was like forgetting the biggest one. A couple things. So if you're not familiar with our programming schedule, we do have normally our Tome of Knowledge on Monday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific. Art streams with Bun have changed to Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific.
Hoping that'll work out better for my schedule so I can come and stream with you all
Yeah.
more often. So,
And then Thursdays, we have our Out of Combat airing on YouTube and podcast only, which is our after episode where we talk about after the episode. And the one that just dropped yesterday with VS in it, talking a little bit about his character and what happened. I believe that was also Moobs and Mac too, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
We're there
What?
as well.
What are we
Talking
doing?
smack about me. No, I'm kidding. Talking about the last Out of Combat.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I was there.
she said, "Oh yeah, I was talking smack about you."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. But if you want to get those early instead of waiting until Thursday for that combat episode, you can go join our Patreon. Whereas on Patreon, everything drops on Sundays. So you get the Tome of Knowledge, the podcast format. You get the episode early before podcast. You get Out of Combat before anyone can even see it or hear it. Good stuff. Also, feel free to join our Discord. And if you have topics you want us to bring up for Tome of Knowledge, it's a great place to bring those up. Let us know what you want us to talk about in D&D. If you have any burning questions for us, things you want explained, we'll do our best. Another major, I guess the major announcement for the evening, if I would actually read my notes and not go off book or off script here, next Friday we won't be here. We'll be there. And when I say there, I mean at Obsidian on their channel. So same normal D&D time, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, specific Pacific time. And we'll be doing a little one-shot over there on their channel. So definitely don't want to miss that. We're going to have some little donation incentives like we did last time. Some fun stuff. So if you want probably to just burn my mouth with hot sauce, you could probably do that. It'd be fine. That's a normal occurrence.
We need
I don't think
more
we're doing hot
incentives.
sauce this year
Mhm.
because we ruined digestive systems last time. So
That's a rule. So we have to think of something else. If anyone
Well,
has good incentive
last-
ideas,
Yeah, last time
Let
we
us
had
know.
hot sauce or nasty beans. So
I'm not doing
We have
nasty beans again.
We do.
I'm not
have
doing it again. I got rotten egg.
So
I'm never again.
they can
We're adults.
yeah, you can choose your poison. You're all adults, right? But yeah, we'll be over there 6 p.m. Pacific. Go be sure to check it out. Go to the Obsidian channel, and then they'll have announcements and links and places where you can all donate to make us suffer during the episode too. So
What if I just have to eat broccoli? I hate broccoli. Is that good enough?
You hate broccoli?
What are you- are you
I love
five?
broccoli.
I'm 5.
Can
I hate
I
cheese
eat
too.
broccoli?
I'm so sad.
I wish I
I love
liked it,
it.
but I hate it. It's disgusting.
Here's another That's me spilling the tea here. Bun also doesn't like peas either. So
They're disgusting. I am 5 years old. Yes.
I love
You don't like other vegetables. There's plenty of other vegetables I like.
you like Brussels sprouts though, which is
I like
do.
Brussels
They're
sprouts.
delicious.
Brussels
I like
sprouts.
tomatoes.
Fantastic.
I don't like them.
I want Brussels sprouts.
There you go.
I-
Obsidian.net/donate.
if they're roasted in a very specific
I'm
way.
hungry.
All
Yeah.
the proceeds go to
I
the
don't want
Children's
pretzels.
Hospital of Orange County, which is
Nice.
our local children's hospital. Wonderful
Aw.
organization. Helps family pay for bills, medical bills, medical equipment. If the hospital needs extra staffing, all that good stuff.
Help us, help them, and help make the world a better place, even
Yeah.
if just a little bit.
And I believe because I'll be at the Obsidian Mothership. I got to be there.
That's right.
Are you going to be
Yes,
there
we
too? Or are
will.
you going to be at home?
Me?
Yeah, you. I said
Oh,
I,
I'm
like, I looked at you, but it's not you. It's just the camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there all weekend. So
Yeah, I figured so.
Can I
Okay.
be there?
Fine.
Where am I? Am I here?
Yeah,
yes.
I don't know how to run any of this stuff without you.
It's not gonna-
We're running it.
they're running
Obsidian
it.
is running it, so you don't have to worry about any of that.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, whew.
yeah. I
We're
just
good.
have
We're
to.
good, chat. We're good.
I just have to procure a laptop to do my dungeon mastering. That's okay. We'll figure that out. Anyway, I think that's all the announcements and important information that we have for now. Unless anyone can think of anything I may have missed. Correct me if I'm wrong. But with that, let's go ahead and get ready for tonight's episode of Casters and Cantrips. Our story last left off with our adventurers picking up the trail of former sister Jacinda, who was Azric's foster mother of sorts. The group continued trudging through the jungle in the pouring rain, and after traveling another few hours, the group spotted a thin plume of dark-colored smoke that was in a small break of the jungle canopy. Hayden relied on his stealth abilities to investigate, and once he got closer, he observed a half-elven woman struggling to tend to a small fire near an outcropping. After getting some information about her appearance and what she was carrying, he went back to report to the group. The party then moved forward to speak with the woman, believing her to be Jacinda. When they arrived, the woman was gone. A short time later, Cooter was able to spot her attempting to hide from the approaching group. And once Jacinda realized who it was, she was amazed that Azric was still alive and attributed this meeting as divine intervention from the Lotus King himself. Azric informed her of his storied past of piracy, and after a shipwreck and after some catching up, the party agreed to accompany Jacinda to collect some rare flora in a cave nearby. While inside the cave, the party came across a creature known as a Zorn. It craved gems, precious minerals, metals, and coins. In order to avoid a potential conflict with the creature, they all agreed to dispatch some other inhabitants of the cave that was keeping the Zorn from the crystals that they had claimed. Unfortunately, these inhabitants were a group of basilisks. During the battle, as Hayden was preparing to shoot one of the creatures down, he was taken by one of the creature's petrifying gaze. And at that point, Hayden was forever turned into stone. The rest of the group were able to defeat the creatures, but at the cost of one of their valued crew members. The party then decided to head directly back to Escos, carrying the stone form of Hayden in an attempt to find anyone to revert the petrification that had taken hold of him. When returning to the city, Azric told Jacinda the true source of his powers. He denied that the Lotus King was the source and that it was some other dark, mysterious entity. While this caused some strain in their relationship, Jacinda urged Azric to turn to the Lotus King for help and swore him to not speak of this again to her. When the group arrived back at her home, Azric was visited by Etheria. While he had called for her aid earlier, she informed him that she arrived as soon as he could. They debated his childhood ailments, talked about doing the right things and having faith. Ultimately, she left him to his thoughts, and the party turned in for the evening after a long and sorrowful day. And that was where we'll begin our adventure this evening. So, you all wake up bright and early the next morning. Keep in mind, you all have a point of exhaustion for rushing through the evening, getting home extremely late. And that will subside, of course, during your next full rest. So, you all wake up in Jacinda's modest abode, ready for whatever the day brings you and to try and get your friend back. You can see Jacinda has woken up even earlier than you all to try and make some breakfast, some food to help you through the day. And as you wake up, you're smelling the aromas of a nice sort of oatmeal, some other nice sides, a breakfast porridge of sorts.
Oh, this is fantastic. What's your secret?
Well, it is much practice and, well, living for a long time.
Oh, don't I know it? Alas, most of my cooking is quite unfortunate. Just ask the boy.
Well, please, all of you, sit down, eat, try and regain some of your strength. It was a long, arduous evening. She has dark circles under her eyes. She probably didn't sleep very well at all.
I was gonna say, Emmy's just sitting like on the couch or the floor or whatever. She does not get up to eat breakfast. It looks like she's been probably up all night crying.
You can see the stone visage of Hayden in the back garden area of Jacinda's home, in the exact same position in which you last saw him, as he was aiming his gun one direction and trying to turn away in another.
What a
Well, good morning,
spectacular
Hayden.
pose.
He said he can hear us?
You don't look a day older.
He should be able to hear us.
I don't really know how it works.
He is still conscious in there after all.
I guess I'll go out and talk to him then. Do you think that'll help?
Keeping him company and providing some comfort, I dare say would probably be nice. He always did keep to himself, but I do think he might be lonely.
I'll do that. And Emmy's gonna get a serving of oatmeal, like 2 servings of oatmeal, like she's taking one out for Hayden. And you see her out in the garden.
Stop Emmy, but just kind of just lets it go. It's fine.
Oh, Azric, what do we do?
Do you happen to be friends with a very powerful caster, by any chance?
Oh, am I? I mean, I have seen many years and known many friends, but do I know anyone that powerful? Or know of anyone that powerful?
A history roll for me. And I've committed a cardinal sin. I didn't grab my notebook or my dice.
Oh, let's go. Well, that was me last time, so you're forgiven. I'm just passing.
Yeah,
the
everybody
baton.
gets one.
Yeah.
Everyone gets one.
Oh, 21.
21.
Dirty 21.
So you would know a couple things. You've already extensively sort of understood the ailment that has happened to Hayden. This is not typically something that arcane casters can heal, save for very powerful artificers. Now, the trouble with that is anyone who is an extremely powerful arcane caster generally not known in public because that draws a lot of attention. But as far as artificers, you've not met anyone that powerful. This is not sort of they're in their wheelhouse typically. Requires much more power for that type of spell.
No, in my time, I've seen fighters and pirates and merchants, but no, someone with this kind of power wouldn't dare make themselves known. Not in this age, not in this climate. I do know the kind of power that's needed. It's not something we can come by easily, that's for certain.
Well,
I wonder if maybe someone at your church might have a better affinity for something like this. I mean, this cave is on their island. Surely they would have experienced something like this before.
Well, that's what we are trying to find out, so I believe the best course of action is to go to the church.
Yes, I believe so too.
Just for some context for you, Nina, being an artificer, in order for an artificer to cast Greater Restoration and have that available to them, they have to be level 17. Much harder to come by
huge.
for artificers than
Come
other
back
people.
in 10 years, chat. We'll be back in series 15.
At least Hayden won't age.
He'll still be around.
So Jacinda is sort of just like keeping herself busy, like trying to give people food, like clean things, all of that stuff. And she says, if you're going to the church, then I'd like to at least try and help you. It's the least I can do.
Are you certain? After you walked away from the church after all?
Well, you know the reasons that I walked away, and here you are, safe and sound. So, my failures weren't, well, someone else could do what I couldn't. And she sits down next to you, Azric, and she grabs your hand. I'm more than willing to help you, and I want to help you. I need you to tell me the truth of why you're here. Why did you return? Why are all of you here? Could you at least do that? I know you didn't come to see me. It's been so long. As much as I would love that, I don't believe it.
Well, it's true. We didn't come here to see you. I didn't even know you were still alive until a few days ago. We're actually here for some reagents to be able to craft a scroll that we need.
We had already told you yesterday that we were here for the flower, and then that is when we had learned that you were alive. then we came right your way. Do you not remember this conversation?
So, that's really it. It was just, we came for one of the most sacred plants, objects here to our faith, and just planned on procuring it for your own gains.
I did warn you, Mother, that I am not the sweet little flower that I used to be.
And I told you that there's always a choice. And it seems that I have some catching up to do. And perhaps instilling some motherly guidance on you that has been without for the past few years.
Well, I didn't exactly keep the best company. So I at least to say the influence has definitely rubbed off me.
And she reaches out towards Taj to grab her hand.
And I give it.
At least you were there to get him out of that horrible situation. And for that, I could never thank you enough.
That's what I do.
Well, at least ask what's so important about this scroll.
We found something. Something that shouldn't have been found. And in order to unlock its secrets, we require these reagents to craft a scroll to open the next step of our journey.
So many questions. Well, what makes you think that it shouldn't have been found? And is this dangerous? Could you all get hurt?
I think the less people that know about it, the better.
We came out fine. It was the rival pirate crew that didn't make it out so well. They were driven to madness. But yes, so we found this on a hidden island where stories of ghosts and superstition is born. And apparently it was all true. But we managed to make it out with said item. It seems that this kind of drawn us towards as such, if maybe it's fate that we found this item.
Perhaps if it's that dangerous, it should be kept somewhere out of harm's reach.
Oh, it is definitely most safe with us instead of the wrong hands. Who knows what it's capable of if people were to unlock its secrets.
Well, know that the Lotus Luminarium is quite well versed in preserving things, keeping things out of the hands of those that shouldn't have them.
I fear they just wouldn't understand, Mother, especially with how my powers came to be, seeing how I'm not registered.
And it looks like just she's been struggling. It's just all the wind, whatever was left, was taken out of her sails. And with you bringing that up again. I asked you never to speak of that again to me.
I'm sorry, but you wanted us to speak plainly, speak the truth, and it is who I am now.
You realize what sort of position you put me in by doing this?
I understand. It's you bear all the risk, harboring such people like us. But I assure you, we would never, ever let anything happen to you. We are very careful.
We can leave if it's going to cause grief.
Who, as you said, Mother, who knows what the gods have planned for me? This could be their divine plan. This could be their intention.
Funny how you speak of not knowing what the gods would want. Since you turned away. But, as they say, the road to the abyss is paved with good intentions.
Very dark road.
Please consider speaking to someone there inquiring. If you want advice or second opinion of something that whatever it is that you found, that is their expertise. I understand you want to be secretive, but there are people that I know that could potentially help.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Mom. I think the most important thing right now is how we save Hayden.
Yes,
Everything else
I
could come
concur.
after.
Well, as you all know, it's no easy feat. This is not... The spell required is not something that just anyone can possess. Only those in the highest of the order would even have access to such a thing. The least we can do is try.
If anything, this is the place. The Lotus King, the Order, they are the most powerful healers all the lands.
Your friend is not a believer.
Are you saying that complicates things? He is not of the faith?
It could.
Well, I guess it would be very difficult for them to ask him what his allegiance lies, right?
So you may lie for you again.
I honestly don't know what faith Hayden follows, if we're being honest.
What? I think at least we need to go to Twilight Sanctum, perhaps Sentinel's Watch. I know much of the Order will be occupied with the rituals for this evening. But, like you said, if there's anyone that could do it, they're probably here in this city.
Well, what should we do first? Is it the Elysium Watch, the Twilight Sanctum?
People in both. We could go to Twilight Sanctum, see if any of my old acquaintances, friends there would receive us.
My worry is that if we go and ask for help, we might get into some hot water why we were where we were in the first place and put your mother in more trouble. The last time we had asked about the wildlife here, there was a little bit of concern in the air, so I believe that although people know how dangerous these basilisks are, that perhaps... Is it forbidden to go into those caves?
Not that I'm aware of.
The only trouble that I'm aware of was from my brother and the Elysium Watch needing to deal with some pirate trouble. That was all I was aware of.
Yes, if that is the case, then hopefully we might be able to barter some services. Although who knows, we may need Hayden to deal with those pirates, so...
Well,
But I doubt they would trust us enough to help us with that before we do some good ourselves.
We are an adventuring group after all. If we could be of service to them and help them and show our goodwill, it might work.
Yes, we're going to have to act in good faith.
you are aware of the teachings, Azric, about balance. That might come to that. Show of good faith.
Yes, I understand.
So, as you all are prepared, if they were to ask something in return.
We have little to offer, but our services may suffice.
We might be small, but we are strong.
And how could they deny the services of a chosen reborn?
Back in the flesh, yes. Do we take Aiden, or do we leave him here?
I think it will be enough just to describe his ailments. Unless you fancy dragging him through the streets of Escos. I think our trek through the jungle was enough for me.
If you look out the window, Emmy's draped a couple blankets around Statue Hayden and has set like his oatmeal serving like in front of him. Ideally, if his second hand is like kind of like hold like this, she kind of like sits it in it.
He's still
It'll
wearing
turn into a bird bath by the time we come back.
Yeah.
Still wearing his little flower crown that Azric had fashioned for him the night before.
You can also tell she's been like talking at him for a while now, so you're kind of hope he isn't subjected to just listening to Emmy prattle on for hours, but he might be, I guess.
Well, we can always shift focus. And what are some things that Emmy was saying to Hayden before we leave?
Well, no one's here that would hear it. Do you want me to go on to do it? Well, I'm so sorry, Hayden. I feel like if I'd have been there, if I'd have been paying attention, I could have stopped all this, and I can't stop thinking about how I had the spell that could have helped you. And I know that someday I'll have the spell that can fix you, but I don't have it yet. I know my people have it, but I don't know it yet. I'm not powerful enough. And I'm sorry. I just feel like I let everyone down. And I know Taj doesn't really like me, and I don't know if Azric, I think he puts up with me, but I want to prove that I can do this stuff, and I don't know what to do now. If I can though, even if it takes me like 20 years, I will learn and I will come back and I will fix you. If I have to, if that's what it takes. But I don't know what that means. Will you be really old then if I fix you? Or will you be the same like you are today? I'm not really sure. Anyways, I don't want you to be cold or hungry, and I don't think you can eat, but maybe like smelling it's helpful, or maybe that's worse. I'm not really sure. Oh, I know. I'll get you. I'm sorry. I know. I'll get you some rum or some whiskey. I'll bring that back later. I promise. As long as I don't have to drink any, but I can bring some for you. And yeah, I'll make sure there's no seagulls around either. I turned into a cat earlier and scared some birds off, so they won't land on you. But I'll come back and I'll do it again, and tomorrow too, because I know you don't like birds. So seagulls. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just a lot of that.
Yeah, and then Emmy can hear everyone sort of like getting up from breakfast on the table and cleaning things up and getting ready to leave for the day.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go now. We're gonna go try and figure out if they'll help you. I don't know if they will. I really liked being on a crew with you, and I never really had friends before, and I was really happy that I thought maybe we could be friends. So, anyways, if you remember this, don't repeat any of this. It's kind of easier to talk when other people can't talk back, though, you know? I never really thought about that before. It's kind of weird, actually. Anyways, we'll be back later. And I'm going to scurry off to join the group.
All right. Anything else anyone wants to do before you head down the road?
I don't believe I had anything in particular.
Okay. So you head back towards the center of the city as you are on the outskirts of this district, the Moonlit Quarters. And basically you are going from the Moonlit Quarters towards the central area where sort of multiple districts all connect, where the Moonlit can connect with the Dusk Harbor, the Crescent being on the other side, and then your destination first is going to be Lotus Heights, which is where the Twilight Sanctum is located, and where
in the Heights.
Yep, in Lotus Heights. So you all pack up and begin the journey towards the Lotus Heights district, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of hustle and bustle as you get towards the center, and you can see sort of large crowds of people like sort of perking their heads up like they're trying to see something, and everyone's headed in the same direction that you are.
As in coming towards us or going in the same direction we are going?
Yeah, all going in the same direction that you're going. Large crowds of people. And as you probably get maybe a few hundred yards in the district, it starts to get really like kind of packed. Like the crowd has stopped moving. And you can hear shouting like in the distance ahead of you.
Cooter is befuddled and flabbergasted because she can't see shit.
So I think all y'all are short in this party.
She's like a knee height.
Your tallest person is Stone, so
she's just like, what's
Dang it, we should've
going
brought him.
on? I can't see anything.
I am of average height. Thank you.
Yep. So as you're sort of poking up, you can see it looks like
Not a small king.
It looks like everyone's stopped. Like they're not moving forward. You can see up in the distance you can't tell if they're guards or they're armed people, but they're holding people back from going any further in the district.
What is happening?
Emmy, do you think you could go
Yes.
take a look? See what's happening for us?
Oh, you want me to just walk up there? I could try.
Well, I can't seem to get through. I'm
I
like
don't know
looking
if
for
I'll be
people's
able to
like
get
people's legs
through.
are like bars in front of me. She's just like,
Oh, do you want me to like turn into like an animal and try? Is that what you
would
meant?
it be safe?
Oh, sure. I'll turn into an animal that people don't kill in this area.
I can just ask Mother, why have we stopped?
I have no idea. Something happened.
Are people like kind of murmuring or commotioning? I'm gonna try to, if I could pick up anything that the crowd is talking about.
Perception
I
roll.
perceive things are loud.
A big old 9.
A 9. You hear people kind of, Azric are just kind of muttering of, like, I wonder what's happened. I'm not sure. They just said to come this way. But my uncle heard that, and just starts going off on some like fantastical, like ridiculous story. And the people are just like, it's like people are like, don't know what's going on. So they're just making shit up at this point. And you easily hear the same thing, Cooter, with your uncanny, perception.
I was about to be like, do I naturally perceive exactly
Actually,
what is going
I'm
on?
gonna make you roll with your insane bonus.
Uh-oh.
So go for it, because you're actively listening anyway. So
Yeah.
What do I add?
for perception 5.
Plus 5, yeah. 7.
I mean, it's you hear the same thing that Azric does, except it's a little higher up.
Loud.
It's loud, yeah.
The same thing. It must be true. About his uncle.
Mhm.
It's fantastic.
Hey,
What a
buddy.
story.
I'm gonna
Alright.
turn into a let's see, fast and small squirrel, and start running through the crowd to see if I can find something to climb up and get a better look.
So as you're preparing to turn into a squirrel, Bucket sort of like crunches his legs and like looks at you like, what do you want me to do?
Oh, well, I wasn't gonna send you, Bucket, because I just thought, you're like a crab and someone might, well, they eat crabs here, right? Okay.
And he like
you're-
tries to get in your pocket, but then you're gonna turn into a squirrel. So
He can ride on my back.
okay.
I can
That's
keep
fine.
him
He
in my
does it all the
bucket.
time.
I can
Oh, do you
keep
want to
Bucket
hang out
in
in
the bucket.
Cooter's bucket?
It's
She hasn't
every
puked in it
day.
lately.
It's a common occurrence in Escos. Everyone knows crabs ride on the backs of squirrels.
Yeah, I thought that might be true. They're like the perfect size. So, do you want, Bucket? Do you want to stay here with Auntie Cooter, or do you want to ride on my back? I know you don't love heights.
So as soon as you say Auntie Cooter, he does like happy, and then you say on your back, and he just stops and just like.
I'm sorry, my crab's not good today, Bucket. You can do whatever you want.
It's motioning towards
Do you want to
Cooter.
go and? Okay, you can say. Okay, I'm gonna pick him up and put him in Cooter's bucket. First, I'm gonna make sure there's no puke in it.
No, it's very clean. I clean it every time.
I mean, I don't know if he'd mind. And then I'm gonna turn into a squirrel.
Okay.
It's kind of what a squirrel looks like. You can tell him he hasn't seen squirrels that many times. Anyways, and she's gonna take off scurrying between people's feet and try to find like a tree or a lamppost to climb.
What does a squirrel look like?
Like a little kid drew it, but like mostly like a squirrel. It's got like a bluish tinge to the fur. You're like, I don't think I've ever seen a squirrel that color, but that's okay.
Yep. So you're kind of scurrying, hopping through. You can find, pretty easily, some sort of lamppost here. But as the crowd is sort of gathering, and you can climb up it, and you can see with your little squirrel eyes that everyone is stopped at sort of a barricade in the middle of this street, and then any sort of adjoining streets in the area are also barricaded off. You see that they're not there's some kind of armored individuals. They have sort of polished steel like plate with these like midnight blue and silver accents. Look very well crafted, of flowing blue capes. There are some that look sort of less eloquent, that are of, more standard armors, but they all have this insignia of a lotus flower with 6 petals. And in the center, there's sort of a radiant sunburst.
Okay, I think I know who they are.
Yeah, you would know that from your encounter in the tavern on your first night in Escos. That's the same symbol of the Elysium Watch.
So they're like the guard, not the church, right? But they like support the church, is my understanding?
There's a mixture. So the people that are holding the crowd back are the Elysian Watch, and you can see some other like towns guard that are walking around, that are asking questions to people. And I think from what you all picked up on that night in the conversations, that the Elysian Watch will help. It's not their job to do this stuff, but at this point they're sort of helping the city guard kind of do their jobs, basically.
Want to get close enough to hear what they're asking people.
Okay. And as you're sort of scurrying closer, you clearly see that Zillajarn is there trying to hold some people back that are trying to push in. And he's sort of kind of struggling, doing his best. And you also see in another area the same person that you had met that evening, Watcher Nixara, the drow woman. It looks like she's speaking to a high-ranking member of the town's guard. And there are some others sort of that you're not familiar with dotted around, kind of doing the best they can here. But you can try and listen in to Nixara if you'd like.
Okay.
And Zillajarn, as you're running by, he's just like, everyone calm down, just stay back, please. This area is cordoned off for the moment. Please don't push. And he's this hulking huge dragonborn who's like so soft spoken and trying to be nice. That people are assholes, they're dicks, they want to see what's going on, they want to push through. And you can scurry past him.
Yeah.
And you realize in the area, once you get closer, of where you're at, you're around the Lotus Luminarium, the museum. You all took a tour. It was quite lovely.
Oh, okay.
And
well, I didn't.
Some of them did.
It has a sign, so I know where it is. I know what it is.
Yeah, it's hard to miss. It's a fantastical building. And Watcher Nixara is speaking to this high-ranking member of the guard. What? So you're telling me you knew absolutely nothing about what happened here today? Well, we're doing the best I can, which the best isn't good enough. If this gets out, who knows what can do your job for once. Now, I know the council decided with you all to take point on this, but what was taken in there does not belong to you. It does not belong to the city. We have sworn to protect it. And then he's kind of sitting there and taking, goes, well, maybe you should have done a better job at doing that then. And she sort of almost winces at like, you're right, but fuck you, dude, kind of thing. We'll speak about this later, Captain. I have work to do. And she just like turns on her heel and storms off.
Okay. Emmy's gonna scurry back to the group. And she's gonna land on Azric's shoulder. So there's now a squirrel on your shoulder. And then she starts chittering like she's excitedly talking. You just hear
Emmy, we have to seriously discuss what you think squirrels look like. Oh,
and then she kind of like jumps off your shoulder, and as she jumps off, she kind of like turns back into Emmy. Oh, good news! I have really good news. I have good news. It's really good.
What?
I think I know how we can help Hayden.
How are we going to help Hayden?
Okay, well, you're worried that they're not going to want to fix him, right? Because they're like, they don't really care about us, and he's like not one of them, and you're not really one of them, and we don't know if they like us yet.
Oh. No, I guess.
Okay, well, somebody stole something from that museum that you guys went to, and if we could find it and then give it back to them, then they're going to like us.
What did they
Do
steal?
you know what?
I
was
don't
taken?
know,
Oh,
And you can
but it
hear.
seems really important.
So an onlooker, she hears what Emmy's saying, and she goes, "Someone stole something from the Luminarium!" And then people start gasping, and then someone's like, "I heard that they stole a very important artifact." And someone's like, "Well, I heard," and they start making up shit, like stuff that you saw in the museum, like they took this, they took that.
Who did you hear this from, Emmy?
Oh, from it was his friend, right? The guy we met before.
You heard it from Watcher Ixara.
Okay,
speaking to the
Watcher
captain.
Ixara, the one that we met in the tavern. The one in the tavern, they were talking to the captain, and they're like really mad at each other because they said it's your job, and they were like, no, it's your job. It's your job. And I think this is really good news for us because it's not our job, but we could make it our job. All we have to do is get into the museum, see which item is missing from when you were there before, then we locate that item and return it.
And they
sounds real
us
simple.
babe. I'm gonna quickly let's go to the front.
Okay.
Try to push our way through to try to talk to Captain Nixara.
Watcher Ixara.
Oh, so Watcher. Forgive me.
Oh, sorry. The Watcher was talking to the captain. Yes. I think I misspoke. That was on me.
That's okay. So you all are trying to push towards the front of the line, and at this point, it's kind of like, think of like trying to push forward in like a packed like arena concert, right? Everyone wants to get up front. Everyone has their spot, and people are kind of being kind of dicks, not letting you through. And y'all are kind of like those people that like got to the show like late and are trying to get closer to the front, but they didn't want to wait in line for 3 hours like everybody else.
What if one of us could be like really stinky?
I'm just saying that's the vibe you all are giving off.
Okay.
People like giving you looks like,
So we can get there, but we're
Yeah.
just real annoying. Okay.
yeah, exactly. You're gonna be able to get there, and you're sort of pushing through the front. And then at this point, as you're pushing through, you were like adding to the issues that the guard and the rest of the Elysium Watch are like trying to push back, keep people from like pushing through. And when you push to the front, there's sort of a hard-nosed guard wearing like some chainmail and a helmet, basically has a club holding it in front of him. He kind of pushes on you, Azric, as you're making way. He's like, "No pushing! Back in the crowd!"
I need to speak with Watcher Nixara. She's expecting
Right.
us.
Oh, I'm sure you do, little man. And
We're here to assist you in your missing item situation.
he's like, "I don't care what you think you're gonna do, but sorry, no one's getting through." And you could see, like, just to your right, like, there's this guard, another guard, and then you see Zillajarn, like, trying to be, like, diplomatic, but still, like, trying to, like, keep people from pushing forward.
Isn't that your friend up there? Yes.
And he's like, "Oh," and he like looks over to you. He's like, "Oh, Azric." And then like someone, like, as he looks over, it's like pushes by him to get past, and he kind of like grabs the back of their cloak and just like, "Hold on," and he just like pulls them back through. It's like, "No, come over here, please." And he says to the guard, he goes, "You bring them here." And he like looks at you, and he's just like, and he like steps to the side.
You're doing an excellent job as I walk by.
And you all are kind of let through into the crowd. And Zillajarn calls over. Guardian, Joran, could one moment, please, just one. And you see he's speaking to a Goliath man, both in stature and his lineage. Sort of like the ashen gray skin, and he's wearing sort of very light, like hide armor, where Zillajarn is kind of up in like his heavy armor, you know, trying to look nice and pristine. And this person he's called Joran was just speaking with someone else, and Joran just kind of nods at him, and you see Joran walk forward. And doesn't have a weapon in hand, doesn't have a shield like people use to hold people back. And everyone is just kind of wondering what this big dude is going to do. I guess it's on your minds for sure. And as he gets closer, Emmy, you immediately recognize as he starts chanting some words to himself. And he begins to transform. And he transforms.
Wait, is it like a druid transform?
Yes.
No. Yes, it is.
It absolutely is.
You don't have to chant words to become druid forms, though.
Yeah, he wants to, though.
Okay, but I recognize it.
Don't
Okay,
tell
I was
him
like,
what he
wait,
wants
have
to
I
do.
been? I wasn't sure if I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
No. He just,
I was like, is there a verbal component? Oh shit!
Oh, he just grew up in a different place than you and has different customs. Like, not all druids are the same.
Yeah, there's different druids. No.
Yeah, come on. And he transforms, and you see he kind of goes on to all fours, and he transforms into just a lion, a large lion, and just like roars at everyone. And instead of pushing everyone, like makes like a hole. And if you were looking at it from above, where this crowd's pushing through, there's like a large like indentation around this lion that nobody wants to get close to or try and mess with at all. As he's holding the fort down for the rest of you all, or for Zillajarn to come speak with you.
That's just one way to do it.
Oh, sorry, it's been a long morning, Azric.
What is going on, Zillajarn?
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's pandemonium, panic. I mean, this has got to stay under wraps here. If this got out, this could be catastrophic. Oh, so there's a lot of people there. So. All right. What are you doing here?
We're trying to get to the Twilight Sanctum.
Well, fortunately the district's closed, as you can see, due to the occurrence. He sort of just like gestures his hand to the Luminarium.
No, that cannot be. My friend Hayden, he was turned to stone. We need a healer.
I see. Oh, well.
Oh my god. Oh, please, Zillajarn, apologies. I know you have a lot going on. Look who I brought. And I gesture to our foster mother.
Look at yourself. And he just bear hugs her. Guys, how long has it been? It's been quite some time, and you've done well for yourself. I've been sort of keeping tabs on you. I'm so sorry it's under these current conditions. He just kind of looks like you just like hit him with like a sack of bricks at this moment. He's got like so much going on in his head that he's just like, what? This is information overload for him at this point.
I'm sorry, brother. I couldn't just not say anything.
That's all right. That's okay. And just then he goes, they need to help their friend. I'm sorry, no one's getting through. Have you at least heard what happened, Azric? If there was one more of you.
That's we
The one who came to come, who talked to Nixara.
Yes, we found Mother in the jungle, and we went to a cave to look for fungi for healing properties, and we came across a pack of basilisks, and Hayden, our friend, was not so lucky as us. And we carried him all the way back from the jungle, and that's why we need to get to the Twilight Sanctum to find a cure. He's basically a statue in Mother's garden.
I'm so sorry. And he just like hugs you, Azric.
Always forget how strong you are.
So sorry, all of you. This is terrible news. Your friend, Hayden, he seemed like a genuinely nice person. I mean, he was a little bold to go directly to speak to Watcher Nixara, but I mean, it worked out all right.
Is there anything we can do to help here that we can help our friend?
I'm not sure. I barely understand what's going on myself. Something was taken from the Luminarium.
What was taken?
I don't know. And that should tell you something. Because even as low in rank as I am on the Elysian Watch, most of what's in there belongs to the Watch. And I don't know what's been taken. They won't even tell me.
Does Watcher Nixara know?
I'm sure she does. All I can say is if it's this serious, it's nothing that was on display. There are vaults there. There are rooms there where they keep things that aren't meant for anyone to have.
Who would have? No one has access to those areas. Who would have? This has to be an inside job.
No, there's no way. None of us would turn
only be
on the Watch. I've heard rumor that the Divine Order of Conservancy, foothold somewhere in Escos. Base of operations, if you will. They know that we don't quite see eye to eye. I know Nixara mentioned as such in the tavern. I think there was something that they wanted in there, and we wouldn't let them have it, so they took it.
They don't have the authority to do that.
They don't. That's why they resorted to thievery and deception.
They didn't take it, they stole it.
Yes. Yes, they did.
Curious.
What does that mean for the festival tonight? The ceremony on the eve?
Well, we're going to have to, I assume, change location, but there's never been a ceremony not in the Twilight Sanctum, as far as I know. But I'm glad I got to see you here, but they're questioning anyone visiting, anyone not citizen.
That to be back to my friends and I are in trouble.
Not in trouble. I don't know why you'd think you're in trouble. Do you know something about what happened?
No, of course not, brother. We're outsiders, though. You know. Well, maybe not me, but the church doesn't even know I'm here.
If your plan was to go to the sanctum, it was only a matter of time they would find out anyway.
Yes, that is true.
Listen,
what is to be done?
Let's all go. Talk to Watcher Nixara. She'll know what to do.
Yes, I think we should too. These rumors are running wild out there.
I've heard some ridiculous things that a dragon swooped in and destroyed the museum. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, there's some fellow who was talking about his uncle and...
Don't even repeat that one, it's terrible.
Sorry. That's just the closest one we had.
Just follow me and we'll go talk with her. Last I saw, she was talking to the captain.
Well, lead the way.
And he's gonna lead you, behind the, police line do not cross barrier, essentially. You can see that Watcher Nixara is sort of talking with another Watcher. And she looks up to you all, and he looks over and kind of just nods to her and then goes back towards the Luminarium. Watcher Nixara, my friends are out here, and perhaps they could be of some assistance. I know that you're charged with, questioning anyone who's visiting in the area and to see if they may know any information. And she sort of just looks to you all. It just looks like she has a lot on her mind going on at this current moment. She's sort of like, it's almost like an awkward pause where she's like looking at you all and like wheels are turning in her head. Any of you say anything, or are you just going to wait for her to say anything back?
Are you all right? We can see there's a bit of chaos here today.
And she sort of just kind of snaps out of it. Indeed there is. Sir John, why are they past the line? Well, I thought that they could help. They are adventurers, of course, and you've heard of the tales of fighting piracy on the Pinnacle Depths, and there was even thoughts that we could have used them for the shipments of medicines that were being taken, but perhaps we could use them here.
I'm really good at finding things, actually.
We are very skilled.
My bows we've already got the job, kind of
yeah.
Well, I'm at your service moment.
Well, I suppose my first question is, do you know anything about what happened?
Oh, we only heard some wild rumors out there. Dragons, something was taken, a whole range of shenanigans.
Is there partial truths to some of those rumors? Yes, something was taken. No, I have nothing to do with dragons as far as any of us can ascertain, which is quite ridiculous. The dragon hasn't been seen in this area in centuries.
Well, that's comforting at least.
Something very important. Very... things that we don't even understand ourselves. And even a collection of things. We're still trying to inventory it. It's quite extensive to figure out what was taken.
Were there several things taken, or was it just one item?
Sure yet. At this time, there is one particular item that was taken that is sort of a vessel for many items inside of it.
Oh
No.
dear.
I do not want to speak out of turn here in public, but early investigation seems that what was taken is pre-catastrophe or around the time of.
Well, that sounds disastrous. Do you mind if we perhaps had a look? Feel free to observe if you need, I suppose. We don't want to risk anything else going missing, I dare say.
Right, a fresh pair of eyes can offer new perspective. Maybe
You
something.
might be able to see some clues.
Perception roll.
All of us, or
Just I'm assuming, yeah, you and then someone would probably be helping, so you can both roll whoever wants to. It's fine.
and it's a what roll?
Persuasion.
I am not
15.
great.
Nice.
What was Azric's?
I got a 12.
Did anyone else roll?
I did. I heard perception, and I was like,
Oh,
and then he
okay.
said persuasion, and I was like, Hayden's the persuasion guy.
Yeah, I may have misspoken the first time. My apologies.
No, it's all right.
Um,
It's all right. I
yeah,
was like,
you-
I will keep that in my back pocket. It was like a 10 though. It wasn't god awful, but
So she looks to Azric, just like, that's not possible. And what is it that Taj would say that would sort of ease her mind a bit about you helping? Something that would kind of push her over the edge to maybe even entertain the idea.
Well, we are here to help, and is it something that you need? We can be very discreet. We have many clients on our books that we do things for. We don't need to tell anybody.
Discretion will absolutely be important in this.
We can be very sneaky, so if you need us to be discreet, it is at our service. And I like bow again, like we've got the job.
I cannot let you go inside at the moment. However, if you agree to accompany me back to the Citadel, then perhaps reach you in, give you some information. We could perhaps come to some sort of accord and could make it sort of official sorts. How does that sound?
I like nod and like look at the group, like good for me.
Sounds most
Sounds
agreeable.
like business.
You can tell Emmy's just trying really hard to be quiet because she knows sometimes when she talks to other people, Taj gives her that look. So she's just like, She's learning.
Alrighty. So She nods and she looks at Jacinda. Are you part of this, sister? She sort of hangs her head a little low. Former sister. And I'm just here to ensure that they get the help they need. And she sort of looks to you, Azric, and kind of grabs your hand. Come find me afterwards if you're able. I don't think you need me in there.
No, we'll certainly come back, but do keep yourself safe. And our friend.
Oh yeah, keep an eye on Hayden. And can you maybe find like some whiskey or some rum and maybe just like waft some in his direction? I think it would make him feel more comfortable.
She kind of just reaches out for your hand. Of course I will.
Oh, also, if you could keep the seagulls away, we don't want him to be stuck there in terror.
He hates seagulls, yeah.
But also, I wouldn't want to wake up covered in bird
that's a good point.
droppings myself, so thank you.
I will take good care, very, very good care of your friend. I won't let anything happen to him. Just good luck to you all. If something doesn't work out, if you need anything, just come back and we'll figure it out together.
We're in your debt.
May you find balance within the twilight.
And the tears start to well up in her eyes from you saying that. And she just hugs Azric tightly. You too, Azric. Let's not make it decades between the next time we see each other.
I will promise. I will do my best.
And she sort of lets go and kind of holds him at arm's length. Faith. And she sort of looks to Zillajar, and he's like, I'll make sure you get back safely. And he's sort of kind of yelling, make a hole, please! Woman coming through, and just like trying to like get everyone to nicely like get out of the way. And Joran in his sort of large like mane, as the lion, he just roars and the crowd backs up even further and basically makes a hole for her to kind of walk through and like go back home.
Oh, what a good lad.
And Watcher Nixara says, are you all ready to go?
Yeah.
Yes.
So John, yes. Come along. It's time you had some more important duties. And he sort of like puffs his chest up and like is following you all down the roadway. And you take a turn out of the district, moving towards the Zenith Gardens, which is where the Zenith Archive is, which is also where the Eventide Citadel is, the building that the Elysian Watch basically call their home, their base of operations, a sort of grand towering fortress constructed of dark sort of colored stone, contrasted with bright like silver accents. It has multiple spires and towers, and you can see that there at the top of each of these is perhaps a lantern or something that emits sort of a soft, like soothing, bluish light. And as you get closer, it's sort of surrounding by this sprawling courtyard, almost like that the Zenith Garden sort of ease into this sort of almost offensive structure comparatively to the nice like well-tended gardens around you. It sort of eases into it, and then once you stop at the doors there, and they're open, people are kind of moving in and out. The watch, sort of people jogging in and out. Things are going on, a lot of hustle and bustle. And she looks to you all. Before you enter here, I must have your word that the things that will be told to you are never to be repeated to anyone outside of here. Do you all agree?
You have a word?
Well,
Yes,
follow
you
me.
have my word.
And as you walk inside the Eventide Citadel, this will take our break. So,
Hey, we finally made it there.
so thanks so much, everybody, for watching and hanging out. We're gonna take a little short break to go grab some snacks, do some stretching of your appendages, and I would encourage you all to do the same. I will say thank you, We're Geek Comics, for the raid earlier. I was trying to get the right commands in chat while I was talking, so sorry I was a little weird there. But I got there eventually. So for all of you for the raid and anyone that follows and supports us, thank you very much. We very much appreciate it. Every little bit helps the channel, even if you're just here hanging out with us. We also have a YouTube as well, so you can see some behind the scenes stuff if you'd like. Go check that out. But we will be right back here in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. And we will see you all shortly. Be right back. And welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you have gotten your snacks and have stretched your appendages. Where we last left off, the group had just made it to the Eventide Citadel with Watcher Nixara and Initiate Zillajarn, and have agreed to be sworn to secrecy about what they learn while they're inside. So, you are at the gates and are currently allowed in. And this citadel is huge. It's adorned with just tapestries on the walls, various depictions of the Lotus King or historical figures of the Watch, all sort of set on this dark colored stone, lots of silvers and blues all around. Kind of anything that's metallic in any way. Don't show that. They didn't pay for advertisement.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But yeah, anything that's metallic here is going to be that sort of silvery sheen, as it's kind of their color palette, basically. And you, everyone here is wearing either, armor. You see a few with full plate that you had saw earlier. That's like the Watcher Nixar is wearing, with that symbol on the center of their armor for the Elysian Watch. And you make your way inside, and there is sort of hallways leading to and fro. There are sort of an open courtyard in the middle, and it's just as beautiful as the gardens outside. Very well kept, just wonderful flora, butterflies. It's a fantastic garden just here, sort of the center of this. And then you see there is sort of where the keep would be in a castle. These large, sort of almost obelisk structure. One of the towering accents of the sort of outline of this castle. And you see these large silver doors, not wood at all, not banded, made completely out of metal. And in the center is sort of the same symbol you see on the plate armor for the Elysium Watch for the Watchers. And then sort of the left side of the door is sort of almost a mural that's kind of faded in, painted, where one side it appears to be sunrise, and then the other side appears to be sunset. So just those two time periods of twilight. Azric, since you grew up here, you would know that you are about to walk into a place known as the Hall of Elysia. This is the most sacred place to the Watch, and you know who resides here.
It him?
It is the High Warden himself, Illyrion, known by the people as the Dawn. Then you see two guards wielding halberds flanking the doors, and as they see Nixara walking by, they open for her. And inside is a grand chamber. Marbled floor with blacks, silvers that match the walls of the towers here. A large, it has to be 30 feet in length, tapestry depicting the Lotus King. And sort of a scene here of almost like in silent meditation, and almost like in a field of stars behind him. Similar depictions of the Lotus King in that long flowing hair draped in front of his face, so you can't see his face, and then with crown atop his head. Long flowing robes that almost sort of spill into the twilight behind him. And in the center of this chamber is sort of a large table. You can see a map of just the continent of Irvos. There's also other maps sort of stacked underneath it. And you can see seated at the head of this table is, you could say, a man, but seems something more than just a human man. Something about him. He has this almost radiant, sort of golden, like touched skin. He has long, flowy, silvery hair, much like Azric's. Has these, the only way to describe them would be like celestial blue eyes that are just piercing. And he's wearing simple tunic, simple trousers, white silver stitching, and you can see just the center, like, of his chest, there's sort of a radiant glow that you can see from underneath the tunic. And he sort of looks a little bewildered, like he smiles at Nixara and then sort of looks bewildered at your sort of ragtag crew, kind of pile in with her, and then looks intrigued at Azric. And his eyes meet yours. And for the first time in your life, Azric, you have been noticed by this person. You've heard so much about him. You've seen him in a distance, heard of his heroic deeds. The youngest person to ever rise to the High Warden, the Dawn. you're combating these feelings of awe. First of all, it's an awe-striking visage this man has, and then immediately your stomach starts to sour, and you think of all of the comparisons that were made, that you could be this person, you could be like them, always compared to the Dawn, never allowed to be your own person, do what you wanted to do.
Emmy's gonna lean over to Azric and whisper, "Is that him? Is that the Lotus King?"
Oh my God, Emmy, no!
What? Did I say something wrong?
Just be silent.
Okay.
And he stands, and this is where you all, it wasn't apparent to you as he was seated at a table. When he stands, he is well over 7 feet tall, is a Adonis of a man, and he sort of strides effortlessly over to you all and looks down and greets Watcher Nixara and sort of puts his hand over his heart and bows deeply to her. "Watcher, what do I owe the pleasure? It seems you have brought friends, and they are most welcome here in the halls of Elysia. What is it I can do for you? Please, come, sit. I shall have food, beverage brought in." And he sort of beckons you all to come in. And as you all are sort of finding your places around this large table, and you can see people coming in and bring like fresh fruit, like tropical fruits, grapes. There's wine. There's water, like whatever you want. You know, they're bringing it out. "I'm so sorry. Where are my manners? I am High Warden Ilarion, and I'm pleased to meet you all here in my home." You know, gestures beyond you all. "I would be pleased to know you."
Oh, the pleasure's ours. Thank you so much for your hospitality. This is far too kind. And Kuda like waddles over to a little seat and she's like, "Oh, sorry, we've been on quite the adventure lately. My name is Kuta Loggerhead. Pleasure, sir."
"Pleasure is all mine, madam." And he sort of looks to the next one in line.
Who's next?
Emmy's like kind of like standing back and being really quiet after Azric like scolded her.
And so Emmy's next in line, and he's just kind of patiently waiting, and he just smiles at you.
She looks very scared to say anything right now.
I just nudge Emmy's shoulder, and I'm like, "Emmy, speaking to you."
"Oh, Azric, no, I mean, I'm Emmy. Hi."
"Hello, Emmy. Pleasure to meet you." And looks over to Tosh.
I am Tosh, and I put my hand out for him to kiss.
Yeah, and he sort of like kneels down as you're seated and gently kisses the back of your hand. "Pleasure to meet you, madam."
The pleasure is all mine.
And he sort of looks expectantly to you, Azric.
"Greetings, High Warden. I am Azric Silvertide."
"It is a pleasure to finally meet you. I have heard of you, Azric Silvertide, and I was most distraught when I heard that you had left and were thought to no longer be of this world. But I am relieved. Here you are, before me. The Lotus King be praised. And he comes up to you, to your chair, Azric. And he sort of kneels next to you, and holds out his hand. I would not assume for you to be any lower than I. For we are equal in his eyes.
Hard to believe of someone of your stature and, quite frankly, almost a legend in these lands. For you and I to ever be equal in his eyes.
You take his hand that's outstretched.
Slowly.
Mm-hmm. And he's notices your hesitation, and he firmly, grasps your hand. Brother Azric, I am only known for my deeds and what I have done to make the world a better place. And I suspect that you have some deeds of your own. And if that is not the truth, it will be. For I sense that much of your story is yet to be told.
Thank you, High Warden. That is very kind of you to say.
It's only the truth. He stands and then comes back around to take a seat at the head of the table. Now, I do apologize about the hustle and bustle in the Citadel today, as there has been quite some troubling news that's come to my ears. Watcher, forgive my bluntness, but what are you doing here?
Oh, we heard about, we were in the hustle and bustle indeed, and heard quite some concerning rumors and thought we might be of service.
You notice that she was about to speak and then kind of just held her tongue until you finished. And she's like, yes, as Maintenance Kuta has mentioned that Zillajon has, and she sort of like looks behind her and like doesn't see him like seated anywhere, and he's like standing like at attention, like right inside the door to like the side, like
he didn't realize he was supposed to come in and
yeah. And she just shakes her head. Zillajon vouches for these people. He has heard tale of their daring adventures against piracy and fighting for the common good. And he surmised that perhaps they could help. And, well, Taj here has convinced me that perhaps they have some skills that could be useful in this endeavor. Well, if one of the Watch believes in you, then I will believe in you as well. Have you all been informed of the gravity of this situation?
We are not aware of what was taken, but just that something important was taken and not to tell a single soul.
See. And he just sits back and just nods to Watcher Nixara. So, you're not aware, the Lotus Luminarium. Quite the achievement of Escos, one of the most grand museums of all of Erebos. Artifacts, rare minerals, art, culture. It's only one of its purposes. There are areas in the Lotus Luminarium that belong to us, the Watch. It's where we seal things off that we believe are too dangerous to exist in the general world. Or there are items that are so rare and so ancient that we would seek to study them before releasing them. Some of these items predate the catastrophe. And that is not what is troubling about what was taken. First sort of report that I have been given is that this particular item, while small, is very important and could be potentially very dangerous. Small chest, lockbox, if you will, believed to be magically sealed, and to have certain wards in place to avoid it being opened. It's been stolen from one of the vaults. It is... I haven't seen these items, so I'm only speaking as of what has been reported to me. But I just believe that there are artifacts that don't predate the catastrophe, that were involved in the catastrophe. Things that perhaps could have set it in motion, things that were used to cause this terrible thing to happen. And we were in possession of this. We were supposed to protect it. And you all know of our issues with the Order, the Divine Order of Conservancy, and their hesitation to share any knowledge about what happened, any knowledge about the Abyss, or anything they may have gleaned or gained since they were put into place shortly afterwards. So much that could be learned to avoid it happening again. And yet, I humbly believe they were the ones that have either directly or indirectly been the cause of the theft of these artifacts.
So you believe the Conservancy was involved?
Yes.
Who was the last person to see these artifacts?
There are...
Who keeps all of your archives updated in regards to these artifacts to be able to take account of them? Do you even know what was inside this lockbox?
I do not. The High Warden does. It is one of many things that are passed along between High Warden to High Warden, that we are to bear the burden of such knowledge, of of what these things could contain. Now, unless deemed absolutely necessary, I cannot share the exact description of the things inside, as they are kept secret for a reason. However, I am confident that the wards in place of said lockbox would remain intact and would prevent it from be opening anytime soon.
How soon is soon?
It would take quite a powerful arcane caster to perhaps break these bonds, and luckily, for our sakes, I don't believe there are that many that would be able to do this in the first place, that I know of at least. But if what is inside falls into the hands of someone with that enormous amount of power, of which I have not sensed, then that would be a cause for great concern.
Indeed. Where do we start? Where has your investigation led thus far?
Well,
And how was your team made savvy of the Conservancy's involvement?
and this is where Nixara will pick back up. So for your first question, well, there was forced entry into the Luminarium, which caused concern, and the curators made us aware, and that is where we had found one of the Watchers that is, well, charged with protecting his artifacts, was gravely injured. And
Oh dear.
currently is not able to be questioned.
Are they going to survive?
I'm not sure.
What about your gifts? Surely they'll be able to heal such a person.
Only time will tell.
It's not the ground for war. Or they have snuck into the night and stolen something from this grand estate and injured your men.
How do you declare war on an agency that is backed in varying degrees by every single island in the continent? How do we accuse them without direct evidence currently? And that is what I am proposing. Such an accusation would have such weight to it. Now, while we, the Watch, are tenuous in our relationship with them, I cannot say the same for the rest of Escos. Some believe them to be the last line of defense of the Abyss, to keep monsters at bay. that seek out those that would harm the common person. Now, maybe they do this, but I've been suspecting for a while that our lack of direct cooperation has caused them to sort of take matters into their own hands. I firmly believe that some sort of clandestine operation or something has occurred here. I just don't have proof. The problem is the Elysian Watch opening a public investigation into the Divine Order of the Conservancy is a bit prickly at best. Would you not agree?
I believe that's where we come in, as discretion is one of our specialties.
And the Dawn leans forward, sort of his hands clasped, like deep in thought, and just listening, just taking it in, not acting authoritative, not taking control. I do say this regretfully, however, this is not something that we can directly sanction. This is not something we can openly ask any of you to do. For doing so would put the entire watch at jeopardy, as that would lead to us opening a direct investigation into the Conservancy. And I say this with a heavy heart and with sincerity. But this is important, and it must succeed. Should you fail, should you be captured or found out, the two options that I would have are to do nothing, start a war, of which I do not know we can win or who will support us. And he looks directly at you, Azric, as he's talking, almost like he's speaking this to you.
You know, the Order of the Conservancy do to those who are not registered.
I do, as much as anyone else does.
And you and I have seen the horrors that they are capable of. Things that the Lotus King himself would look away in horror.
Old stories.
I understand the state of Ascos does not see eye to eye with him, nor do we. We do not agree with their dealings, how they go about things, and how they the gatekeepers of knowledge where we can learn. We are regressing, not venturing forward. true. Any of your involvement in this investigation could be devastating for the people here. We are not affiliated with Escos. For all intended purposes, I am dead. I have no affiliation with the Lotus King or the Elysium Watch or the Twilight Sanctum or the Order of the Robes. I am invisible. You could use that to your advantage.
I will say, and this will be my final statement on this matter in particular. I would not allow a brother to be so easily taken from this world. If it comes to that, and I pray it doesn't. Because I fear that everything around me, built by those that came before me, would come crumbling down for what I would have to do next.
Azek's very shocked hearing those words. He feels like Laren has like this dedication towards Azric he never knew existed, and they've never met, and the only thing that ties them together is their lineage.
You are chosen.
Honestly, I wouldn't you say such things. I've never felt before. Yet we've never met. You and I, you call me brother, but we are nothing but mere strangers.
No. I know what you are, Azric. If anyone does, it would be me. And if he points to the giant tapestry behind him, if he chose you like he chose me, then you are my brother, regardless of how we've only known each other this long.
Well, I am fortuitous that we are actually here. I have a favor to ask of you.
Of course.
I know things are dire, and there's clearly a lot going on through your mind. But I've recently reunited with my foster mother's sister, Jacinda, while we were out rescuing her. A comrade of ours has been inflicted by the basilisk. Now just a garden statue in Sister Jacinda's home. I do not know if you have the resources or time. If there's anything you can do for him.
I will see to it. If you are willing to potentially sacrifice so much for me, for Eskos, for Iravos, then I will see your friend healed.
Truthfully, we may need him to do it.
He is
Indeed.
one of our strongest.
If this, my sacrifice, will but be a small crack in the wall of the Order, the Conservatory, just to see them crumble, I will do this.
I will recall our most powerful clerics immediately from their missions, and we'll see it done.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Warden. I don't know how much of a relief it is to hear this.
That is the light. The darkness is not close. I am of the belief that those in my watch with great power that must be used for everyone across Iravos, not just Eskos. So, I will recall them. But I fear you cannot wait.
What must I do?
And sort of leans back. Now that you know what's at stake here, I will take you back to the Luminarium. Hopefully you can ascertain something there, and we can get to the bottom of this.
Very good.
We do wish to investigate. We need to have a closer look to see what we're dealing with.
And she goes to stand, and the High Warden stands as well as you all are leaving. I am in your debt. Sincerely.
So if you can bring our friend back, we will be in yours.
I will do everything in my power to do so.
Kuta starts like, she's like, her eyes are welling up and she's just so grateful that Hayden might come back, and she's like sniffing and stuff while she's walking out. Just.
All right, Kuta. Yes, Aiden's gonna be just fine.
Oh, I know, it's just so awful.
I have accepted something without consulting all of you. I do apologize. We got Aiden will be cured, and no, Taj, how much we fear the Conservancy, and if we can try just a little of us blows to them, that we can finally fight back.
It does seem like it is in our best interest. In more ways than one.
My warden made it sound very dire, but if I am to be captured, for whatever reason, I want you all to leave me behind.
It is not an option.
I couldn't live with myself if they captured you, Tosh, knowing what they do to us, to our kind.
We will not get captured. And if we get captured, we will not let that happen. Don't even talk about it.
Very well. Sounds good. Maybe sorry, I yelled at you. Just a lot of emotions stirring within me. Aiden, he's going to be fine. He's going to be all right.
He's in your mother's care for now, thankfully, so we will do what we can. We must.
And as you all are leaving, High Warden calls out to you, Brother Azric.
Yes, High Warden.
And he walks over to you, and kind of puts his hand on your shoulder. The Lotus King's path is paved with stillness and serenity. But beware the tranquil surface, for beneath it lies a tempest of chaos. Find your center and let twilight guide your steps. And he just bows to you and walks back into the chamber.
Did I get a sense that he knows that something else walks with me?
Make an insight check.
Okay. Character sheet here. Insight. 15.
Why else would he say something like that to you?
Damn the shade.
It's like it's vague enough but oddly specific.
I was kind of talk to myself. With this chaos, I will use it to my advantage.
And Ixara, bows to the High Warden. All right, it's time to go. And Zillajarn does a full salute and bows and steps backwards out of the room and almost falls over and then goes out of the chamber. He didn't say a word. He didn't say a peep. Even when he was referred to and directly referenced, he just stood there at attention. You kind of get the idea that that if you had been there much longer, he probably would have passed out because he probably locked his knees up and stuff like that.
So, John, this was your moment. What were you doing?
I don't know. I was in awe, and I'm just an initiate, and I was standing at attention.
At least he looked at you.
He looked at me. Oh,
Yeah.
he looked at me. Right. I will return to my post. And Mixar just kind of nods to him, and he kind of takes the lead and just starts, aggressively walking.
Will you take us to the scene of the incident, Watcher Nixar?
Say that one more time.
Will you take us to the scene of the incident now?
That is the goal. All right. And you make your way back. You leave the Citadel, make it back over to out of the Zenith Gardens into the Lotus Heights, back over to the Lotus Luminarium, where the crowd's still there. People trying to wonder what's going on. Some of it's died down because they've realized that they can't get through the barrier. You see Zildjian take his place back in the line and relieve Joran, who changes back out of his wild shape. And you step into the Luminarium, and sort of behind the entry area, when those of you had taken the tour, there's sort of a chamber that leads behind into sort of a hallway with offices. There is a door with the symbol of the Elysian Watch. And she sort of takes out a key, mumbles a prayer to herself, puts it into the lock, opens it. And you can see it's sort of a large chamber. And judging by the size of the building, this is a room that is bigger than it should be, right? These were probably just like little offices on the side, and this opens up and it's a whole chamber. You can see like reinforced doorways, stairways, going downward. So this just vast chamber. And then there you can see someone sort of kneeling down and wearing plate mail armor, sort of pale greenish skin, black hair, who's looking at some things on the ground. And I think that instead of trying to describe and do them justice, I will let the person who will be playing them come in and describe them.
Oh? Hello? What is happening?
Trying to coordinate these things while doing a live show is going to be tough online. So as you all,
I thought you were messing with cameras before.
Yes.
I was like, it's not going to say without him here. This sucks.
yes, please describe this character.
Okay. Well, kind of as Max described, you see a half-orc man, probably in his mid-20s or so, wearing very nice silver plate armor with sort of gold adornments in certain areas. Pale greenish gray skin, black, very nice hair, kind of parted to the side. He his back's to you right now because he's looking over things, but you get the sense that he is most likely somebody that holds high rank within the Elysium Watch, just based off of his armor. And as he stands up and turns around, you'll notice He has some gold earrings. His eyes are a yellowish color, and he has short, semi-protruding tusks on his lower jaw that are gold-plated. And this is Watcher Kor, and he's a half-orc paladin.
And Nixara comes in. Watcher Kor, I have some news from the High Warden.
From the High Warden himself?
Yes. These adventurers are to be accompanying you on your mission for retrieving that which was lost. They are adamant that discretion is their specialty.
And he steps forward now closer, and he stands about 6'2", and he just kind of like eyes each and every one of you for a second, and then looks at Watcher Nixara and says, "Is this some sort of joke?"
No, Watcher, it is not a joke.
I respect the High Warden as much as anyone, but you know as well as I the graveness of this task, and you would give me what? Novice adventurers at best?
You and I, Watcher, are both keenly aware of the nature of this assignment, and unfortunately, the full might of the Watch cannot be deployed in this matter, as it would draw too much attention. So, Kor, get your head out of your ass and do what needs to be done.
Well, if I'm to play the role of babysitter, then so be it.
It was not much long ago when I was playing role babysitter to you. Fortunately,
well,
you had me, and you were able to rise to the occasion.
You know I have nothing but respect for you, Watcher.
And I you. I understand this is not an orthodox assignment.
Well, have we any more information before we set out?
As far as we have seen, not much. I have suspicions about the Divine Order of Conservancy and their dealings here. From what I understand, there was not much left behind here, but if there is a foothold in the city, then I suggest you find it. Maybe if we're not too late, they'll still be there, trying to figure out the next move.
Consider it done.
Well, don't mean to interrupt, but if mother and father...
He holds up his hand. I'm still conversing with the Watcher.
Rude.
Thank you, Watcher Nixar. I will take things from here. May Twilight protect you.
And may Twilight protect you as well. Good hunting.
As Nixara, I'm assuming she just walks out.
Mm-hmm. She leaves
He
you to
turns
it.
Immediately to you, Azra. and go.
Well, watch Cord. Now that
Cord.
you are done having your little spit, we're here to assist, not hinder you. As you understand the gravity of the situation, or what is at play here. I'm not sure your familiarity or dealings with the Order of the Conservancy, but we have.
Really?
On that, we have some skill.
May I ask in what capacity that you've had dealings with the Conservancy?
You may not.
Really?
For your safety, of course.
Oh. I do appreciate your concern, but I'll be just fine. You, on the other hand, what can I expect from you all?
Well, we are very skilled adventurers.
A lot of adventurers say that. What do
We are
you
allowed
do
to
exactly?
talk to
I need to know what I'm working with.
Cooter's just like,
Well, I can't speak for myself. Sometimes my powers come and go, you see. But don't worry, I won't get in your way.
Okay.
Well, introductions, I believe on order. I'm Azric. I am the leader of this group. This is Emmy. She is our druid, also the poet.
I am Tosh. I put my hand out.
He looks at your hand for a second and grasps it. He's familiar with this sort of thing. I'll say this about him, as you might assume from his stature and from his adornments. He appears to be someone of status, and so very familiar with the etiquette involved with high status, and does exactly what you expect him to do, Taj. Gives you a small kiss on the hand.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to meet you.
And
I bow.
my name's Cooter. I don't know how helpful I can be. Sometimes I'm quite helpful and sometimes not so much, but I do make some mean grilled fish.
Your specialty is cooking.
Oh, well, to a degree. Sometimes I heal as well.
Oh, you should see her fashioning tools. It's quite a spectacle.
Well, we have to get the fish somehow, don't we?
Well,
I am a little bit of I would call myself an inventor of sorts.
Wonderful. So, we have a mission. I'm sure you've been informed by Watcher Nixara and the High Warden himself the importance of this task. So, I'm going to ask you all just this once. Follow my lead. Do as I say. If you're at all familiar with what we do here, the rank of Watcher is not handed out lightly. So I would ask that you respect my decisions in the field. Allow me to do my job.
Yes, sir.
you're the boss.
Wonderful. So, Do you have everything you need, adventurers?
As ready as we are. Ever be.
Good. We leave immediately.
I believe
And
we
he
are well
will-
rested enough.
He's already heading towards the door.
You all have 1 point of exhaustion, but that will go a bit away next time you long rest. That was from your trudge in the woods all night, dragging Hayden's stone body back. Okay. So are you all gonna follow Core?
Yes.
Alrighty. So the crowd is beginning to disperse. And you all walk outside the Lotus Luminarium on your new mission and your new pal, Core. And as you step foot outside the Luminarium into the courtyard area that was been cordoned off, Azric.
Hello.
You look around you and you still see your friends, and it appears that there's a dark mist on the ground. No one else seems to pay any mind to it.
Kind of roll my fingers in the mist, make it like a little tornado thing.
Sky starts to darken above you. For the rest of you, so nothing has changed. Only Azric. You see the ground beneath you start to crack and shear. Only you can see it. Almost like there are fissures in the stone walkway beneath you, opening up. And what most people would suspect is that would be some sort of geothermal event. Maybe some lava would spew out. But no. Water spews out. And these fissures start forming all around the courtyard. Everyone going about their business. You see the crowd standing, trying to get in, and the water seeping out, rising higher and higher. And you don't understand, why is no one doing anything? Something terrible is happening, and they're just standing there. Another fissure opens, a side street, much bigger. It starts to wash away some of the crowd. They get taken by the current. And there are waves forming as more open around you. And you look forward. A fissure opens up just beneath Emmy. She's swallowed in by the water.
Scream for Emmy.
You open your mouth. You have no words. Taj is walking with Cooter. Another fissure opens. An enormous wave, 25 feet high, crashes into them. Slams them into the building, and then it's the last you ever see of them. Everyone around you begins to be washed away, drown. And you try and you scream and you ask for help. And you open your mouth and nothing comes out. You taste salt. Taste the seawater. As the current's so strong, every time you open to scream, water rushes into you. Your arms are suddenly pulled outward, and you look. Spectral appendages, tentacles, not so different than the one you command, bind you. You cannot move your arms, your legs. You have no voice. And you are held in place as the water rises until you are submerged. You're struggling. You can't break free. You summon all the power within you and nothing happens. Going under the water, omnidirectional, powerful. You hear bellowing under this newly formed sea. Define me. My wrath. Everything goes black. All of you turn around and you see Azric on his knees, gasping. You have no idea what's happened to him. Azric, your worst fears imaginable come to light. You feel your body weaken. You're cold, you're shivering uncontrollably, sweating bullets. Your vision begins to blur. Your muscles are weak. You can barely stand. It's hard to breathe.
Kuda just runs straight over and starts like trying to get through to him.
And you see him there and cradle his head. He seems so frail, so sick. You see blood trickling from his eyes, his ears, his nostrils.
Azric, are you all right? And she's like trying to like get through to him and trying to cast like healing words.
Yeah, I mean, he's also trying to like heal him too, like huddle like around.
Taj, has this ever happened before? What's happening?
I do not know.
Can I speak?
It takes every fiber of your being to speak, but you can.
Dosh.
Yes, my love.
Dear. I wish we had more time.
I like put my like hand over his lips, like save your energy. We have all the time in the world.
Just
Do not waste your energy.
just like when I was a child. This.
As quickly as the power was given to you, it has been ripped away.
We can't leave now. Azric.
I think I'm dying.
No, that's not. No, you can't be.
This is nonsense. You're not dying. You cannot die.
My powers. They're gone.
Can I make like a medicine check?
Yeah. And
I would also like to detect what. Can I like
Detect medicine?
no, well, because what kind of magic is this? Is there magic? Is something being taken from him that is magical, etc.?
you could make an Arcana check,
Yeah.
and I will,
7.
based on your roll, I'll ask you something as well. But go ahead, Emmy. What was your roll?
17.
He's sick. He's frail.
Is he dying?
It doesn't seem to be getting worse. It seems to have regressed incredibly quickly. His health, but it's not getting worse. Now, what was your roll, Cooter?
13 for Arcana.
I'm going to ask Cooter and Azric this. How much does Cooter know about where Azric gets his powers? Did she overhear the conversation he had with Mom the last time? Does she suspect anything else?
She only heard bits and pieces. She doesn't know like a whole lot.
I would say she did overhear that Azra got his power from something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like she doesn't
Given
know
thing.
what she heard, basically. She heard stuff and wasn't quite sure how it related to her previous.
She may have overheard that this power did heal Azra.
So, with the 13, you didn't think it was possible for something like this to happen. For power to just be taken immediately, violently. But as far as like exactly what's going on, you have no idea.
Do we need to take you back to your mother, Azric?
You see Zillajon running over, and people have been gasping and pointing, and he's left his post, and someone is trying to fill in he didn't tell anybody. He just started running, and he sort of kind of slides in on his knees. No, Azric, what's happened? Who did this to you? Where are they? Did they escape?
Nobody did this. He just fell like this.
Everyone died. Washed away by the tides. It ruptured through the earth. I have.
He was just not feeling well. It's
as if I was a child. Again.
and you see his whole demeanor sort of just sink, because those words, knowing it's like he's a child again, he understands because he was there. He knew what you went through. And he just looks to you all. Taking him to the sanctum now. Help me. And he picks him up. I mean, and he picks you up easily. Lead the way, please.
I like hold his hand and like go with him.
And for you are kind of seeing what's going on in this commotion, and everyone starts to run towards the sanctum.
Yeah, while that was happening, Core was very intensely eyeing the situation from a distance. And at this point in time, he's just kind of using his status and authority to kind of shoo bystanders away. And he will stroll along towards the sanctum, but at a distance behind them.
Actually, Emmy's fallen behind too.
Zillajarn is
Mother.
I will tell her. I will tell her.
Cannot see me like this again. Her heart will not take it.
I must tell her. I cannot keep this from her. She could help.
Tell her I left.
Don't break her heart.
Seeing me now would be worse. Please.
And he's running in the streets, and everyone, and the sight of Zillajarn cradling Azric and just barreling through the streets with everyone in tow. And you see the Twilight Sanctum for the first time, this magnificent cathedral. And as you grow closer, he barrels through and basically wills a door open with not only his pure force of will, but his gigantic ass shoulder. And just goes through and just starts screaming, "Priests, brothers, sisters!" And you see everyone is preparing for the ceremony tonight. There are those that are cleaning this magnificent statue of the Lotus King. There in the center of this large sort of atrium. And much like the other depictions, it is slightly different, hewn from a rare and slightly luminescent black crystal. Standing in meditation. And based on the angle in which you look, you can see sort of the dark turn to light and then back to dark, signifying darkness and light of the statue. This ethereal humanoid figure with his head veiled by his hair. This enigmatic robe that's rippling like a liquid shadow. And it just makes it difficult to discern the contours. His head has this intricate halo of silvered metal that rises like a radiant corona around a star. You can see the large stained glass windows of the cathedral depicting various scenes throughout history. And in almost an dichotomy of this serene, larger than life statue of a deity. Zillajarn and the rest of you sprinting past until you can find a place not too dissimilar to the room in which Azric grew up in, as Zillajarn gently places you on the bed, and as brothers and sisters there of the Lotus Robes begin tending to you, trying to figure out what's wrong.
Kuda's just like, please help him, please.
And you can see a dwarven man who's sort of stout with a braided black beard and gray eyes, with just a soft voice, looking quite old. We will do everything that we can to help your friend. Everything.
Thank you. He is in your hands.
Please save him. We can't lose another.
The thought enters your mind, Azric, in this sort of clouded state. If this mission fails, what happens to Hayden? As your party is huddled around your bed, just watching over you.
Whisper. For Etheria.
Much in similar instances, it doesn't come right away. But she will.
Damn you. But dare you my life from me? Whatever you are.
Whatever who is? Who is, dear?
He is trying to talk to his god.
You're the Lotus King?
There is more to it. I take off a necklace that is really near and dear to me, and I put it around Azric's neck. This has protected me for many years. It shall protect you too in your time of need. And I bend down and put it over his head as he's laying down and kiss him on the cheek.
Azric also has a talisman. He's trying to lift it. He's too weak.
Gosh, help me. this.
I help him and take it off.
Gosh,
You go with.
you have to complete the mission. Otherwise, Aiden will be lost. Well,
It will be done. Do not worry. I am with you, and you are with me.
all of you. Important. May be my last act as captain.
Oh,
Up this. Do not speak of such
Nonsense.
things.
We'll be back for you straight away. We wouldn't dream of continuing without both of you.
Tosh, you have seniority. You're in charge now.
You will lead us. But you are a leader.
How pitiful. Ending my childhood. This exact room. Or something similar. Only to be here again.
Sometimes life works in mysterious ways that we cannot always explain. And sometimes we do not always understand why something happens. But it needs to happen. Do not worry. I am not worried for you.
At least we know you'll be safe here.
Promise me you'll come back. Tosh.
Forever. I have not lived. And I hold his hand, which is holding the necklace.
And I pass out.
And as you all there around this bed, while those that are tending to him, given the last order from your captain to complete the mission, you all leave his room to do as he asks.
I will say, as they turn to leave, Kor's been standing in the doorway with his arms crossed. Kind of most indifferent, but watching. And when he notices everybody's starting to leave, he leaves himself. You guys didn't notice him standing there. In fact, if you notice, somebody in plate armor should be clanking and you should hear metal rubbing. He moves in silence. So, anyway, I
He's
just
a
want to throw that out
watcher
there.
and he's creepy.
And that's where we're going to end our episode tonight.
you serious? What the hell?
Thanks everybody
First
for
half
watching.
of tonight was okay, and the second half tonight was fucking roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
We got VS back, and now we're losing Moose. I don't understand.
With that being said, thanks everybody for watching and for hanging out. Next Friday, the 17th at 6 p.m. Pacific, we will be streaming over on Obsidian's channel. That's twitch.tv/Obsidian. And we'll be doing as part of their charity stream for Extra Life in support of the Orange County Children's Hospital. So come hang out with us. Come donate some money.
With new characters, so it's going to be extra exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a one shot, brand new characters, a little nice adventure for you all, especially over at Obsidian. And then you can also go to obsidian.net/donate to go look at the donations. And from what I understand, Obsidian has procured some nice dice they're going to be giving away during the whole event too. So if you are a resident dice goblin like many of us are, there's going to be some giveaways during their extra life event through the whole
I'm
weekend.
the Dice Goblin.
Yeah, so be sure to check out.
Prize in Australian.
Yeah.
Shout out to your wizards looking it up.
Mac's already making a bunch of different like Twitch accounts so she can enter in the
Yeah, right.
No, I just gotta throw money at the problem. They'll get it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. We very much appreciate everything that you all do. Thanks for if you are subscribing or if you're following or becoming a member or if you're just hanging out, watching, sharing our social media or checking out our YouTube. We very much appreciate it. All of you and our patrons. So thanks so much. And we'll see you on Obsidian's channel next Friday.
next Friday.
Next Friday.
stream. So
6 p.m. Pacific.
thanks everybody and have a fantastic night.
Bye.
Bye.